Car Care Talk Show. My name is Cindy Calderon, and I'm so excited because today we have Jada. Woo-hoo! Jada's in the house. And this episode, I know it will be super, super, super different, but I love it because I don't want to stick with the same things all over the place. So as right now, I really want you to hear her story. Her story, it's amazing. So Jada, first tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to the audience, please.
Hey, Miss Cindy. Hey, Miss Cindy. Thank you so much for allowing me to touch your platform and your audience and all that stuff. So I appreciate this opportunity. We met through Clubhouse, and that has been a phenomenal, just amazing experience. But I am Jada Jae, and I want to say hey to everybody. And why this is so very different is I am newly coming into something called van life. And what van life is people turn tiny house on wheels, like they literally build home on wheels. So, and take them all over the world. I myself have purchased a Ford Transit van, and I'm looking to literally try to build it out and go all the way around the world, building content, all this, that, and the third, just seeing the world and just getting experience. And through the app of Clubhouse, I've been able to meet like really, really amazing people, different companies that already are just big people in this nomadic lifestyle, living, schooly living, nomad living. So I'm very, very excited about this new path I'm on. I'm a little scared, Miss Cindy, I'm not gonna lie to you. The idea of literally minimalizing all my belongings, putting things in storage, giving things away, just trying to just structure my life that everything I have will be in my van, and everywhere I will be, that's where I am. So this is a way new experience. I have no clue how to build anything, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to be an athlete. I was a former athlete. I played basketball growing up from Newark, New Jersey. I had the opportunity to get a full athletic scholarship to Fordham University in the Bronx. After Fordham University, I had the opportunity to play professionally overseas. So I played in Ireland, Spain, and Greece. Like, I kind of lived all my dreams. Once I retired from basketball, I came home. I've been a basketball coach. I've been a personal coach. I've been a teacher. I've been a service worker for the last 10 years. I've done literally every other thing I've wanted to do. Now I'm learning, I started my own business, Don't Judge My Life Media. And that's kind of how the van life ties into my life. I've been a freelance journalist for the last 10 years, like part-time. So being freelance, some of the hardest things about being able to go to these different events, like I've been able to go to the BET Awards, red carpet. I've been able to go to the Black Girls Rock. I've been able to go cover the Jazz Festival in Montreal. Like just been NBA All-Star Weekend, New York Times, like so many different places. But the hardest thing was because it's freelance, it was hard to me to get to where I needed to be for these different situations. And where was I going to stay when I got there? Mm-hmm. So something called van life just started coming on my YouTube. And I'm like, okay, buy a van, turn it into a house, go wherever, once outside open back up, go wherever I need to be, and that's where I am. So this is a whole new experience, and I'm very, very excited. I am very scared. Again, like I said, I don't know anything about electricity, Miss Cindy. I don't know anything about putting solar panels or cutting wood or changing my oil. I'm looking at my van right now, but like, Miss Cindy, I need you in my life, Miss Cindy. Like, and thank you for everything you do for helping your women to know how to work in cars and mechanics and know how to take care of themselves, because we get cheated out here and people take advantage of us because we don't know how to do it, and they overcharge us often. So thank you, Miss Cindy Boo.
You're welcome. It's so exciting hearing, your journey. Like, everything that you have done, everything that you have accomplished. And now you get into this point of life that said, I'm going to go on adventure. I love that. Because, that's one of the things that my husband and I will always say, once the kids grow up, once the kids have their own life, I mean, you and me, we're going to go around the road just in our van. I love to have a Sprinter. That's the oh my God, that's one of my dream cars right there. So when I hear what you were about to do, it's like, how exciting. How
Mhm.
exciting. It's just, I really am excited to follow your journey and see, I mean, everything that you're gonna do. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
and I think Clubhouse has been so amazing, and I've been a really connector, because I mean, I've been meeting so amazing people in Clubhouse. I met you, and I
Yes,
mean,
ma'am.
this is incredible. So you were telling me right now you don't know anything about electricity, and if now you're gonna be in a vehicle, like living in a vehicle, how prepared are you when it comes to car maintenance?
When it comes to,
Car
I'm sorry.
maintenance, car maintenance
Oh,
stuff.
huh. Hmm. I need a battery right now. I need tires right now. I need a oil change right now. So I'm trying to learn and take it all in as I'm having different people, mechanics coming out to show me how to do it. But I'm not good at all with it, Miss Cindy. And then this is a whole new, this is a van. Like this is
It's a huge thing.
like I'm looking for because my battery's been dying. So I'm looking, trying to figure out where I can get a jump, and come to find out the battery's under the seat. So I have to put the wire to the grounder of the under the, it's so much, Miss Cindy. It's so I'm learning as I go.
You know, it's fine, because you know that's the best way to learn. I mean, because I'm not a mechanic myself. I have to clarify that, because my husband is the mechanic. He's the one who knows everything, but I do know the basic, and that's what I teach. I teach all the basic information, and I remember when my husband started teaching me all this stuff, because on the shop we receive so many different cars, and a lot of times he's like, I don't know this. Can you teach me? And he's like, no, you have to go and do it, because that's the way you're gonna learn. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And sometimes I'm nervous because it's a new car, and my husband loves big cars. So my husband is really tall. He's 6'3", almost 6'4", and I'm 5'3". So I'm very
Oh,
short.
that y'all like that.
Yeah. So my husband like really tall cars because of his height. And a lot of time I'm like, how in the world I'm gonna supposed to do this? And he's like, well, just get a ladder and just come and do it. And you know, that's the best way to learn. It's
Mm-hmm.
fun just to learn new things by doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing. So, but before all this life that you're gonna start, do you had any bad experience with mechanics before when your own cars? Can you share any experience that
Mm-hmm.
comes to mind right now that you said, oh no, I feel so frustrated with this when this happened?
I have two experiences for you. One from literally just buying this vehicle and having
Okay.
to walk into the dealership, and then them not respecting me as a woman and trying to play me. And even I know like my stuff, but then walking in with another young man, a Lyft driver. I met this man on Lyft first day, and I was so nervous because I knew this was a huge purchase.
Yeah.
And the guys walking in there, the guys weren't respectful at all. Like they just kind of were looking over me, this, that, and the third. And I needed to make this purchase. But then having this white man come in with me, he's like, I'll come with you. He's like, I'll speak with you. A Lyft driver, I met him that day. He went off the clock and everything. He helped me negotiate and all that stuff. But
Wow.
just to realize that like guys really think differently. And it took this white man to come in and help me maneuver and help me speak and be an ally for me to help me make this purchase. So like, that's one thing, like just sex is whatever. But then I did have a situation with a young man, and he was doing my an oil change on my car. That's all it was supposed to be. All it was supposed to be was an oil change. He never put the cap or something back on there. It's something like he never, and I didn't know anything to tell him to change it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just treated me like crap because he came at me like I did something wrong when he was the one that was supposed to. I paid him to do the oil change.
Of course.
I paid him to know what he was supposed to be doing underneath the hood of my Jeep. It fried the oil. It fried because I didn't have oil or something like that. So it fried the engine or something. I
Yeah.
just didn't know. Like I lost money behind that deal, and he really tried to make me feel like, oh, you did that. I'm like, wow. Now and then speaking to other people, when I took it to the shop, they was like, yeah, there's no cap on here or something like that. I'm like, what in the world? So it's been some different mechanics. It's frustrating because again, and it's not all men. Miss
Yeah.
Cindy is not all men,
Yeah, it's not all. Yeah. Yeah,
but
that's totally.
but it's some of them that will take advantage, and some of them just, what's the word I want to, disregard
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of brush us off and just try to take advantage, and that's not cool at all. But then thank God for the guys that didn't stand up for us, that didn't help. Like I have so many like guys that have been able to, especially with this band, Miss Cindy, because it's a whole different beast I'm walking into now. It's wider, taller, like, so I've been grateful of the good energy of the men that have been coming along, that's willing, from Clubhouse too, that's
Oh,
willing to sit and just talk and just, oh, this is what you need to do. This is how you, and they're really to be just patient with us. So I'm very, very excited about that part. But it's
yeah.
good men in this world. Mhm.
You know, that's awesome. That I mean, obviously there's different good people out there that are willing to help. But I one of the things that I always stand for is like you have to be prepared. You cannot be always relying in someone because you never know when you're gonna need help, and that person is not gonna be there with you. So I always teach my clients when they come to the shop, and I try to teach them, it's like, you don't have to be a savvy mechanic. You don't have to be this expert to do the whole things in your car, but at least you have to know how your own car works. Because every
Mhm.
car is different. Like you said, I mean, the Jeep that you had before works totally different as your new van.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not sure about that van, but some of those big vans not even use the regular gasoline, they use diesel.
Diesel. I ran from diesel, Miss Cindy, because I knew that was going to be a whole different expense, a whole different mechanic lane that I knew I couldn't afford. That's why I couldn't afford a Mercedes Sprinter. Like I
Yeah.
knew just my budget right now to deal with a diesel vehicle, I couldn't afford it. But that's that money. That's that guap. You gotta have that good money, Miss Cindy.
Yeah.
That
So
diesel.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, every car is different, but no matter what car you have, you just have to learn how your car works. I mean, I
Mhm.
think everything is start when learning how your own car works, what type of engine your car have, what type of oil your car use, how big the engine is. And I always recommend having this in one place. Like for example, you have your glove compartment. You're gonna have all this information handy because most you that you're gonna be traveling like around different places, you will need, don't worry, this is gonna be recorded. So
Okay,
you
yes,
will
yes,
have
because I
it.
need to be taking notes, like all this stuff I need
Don't worry, don't
to.
worry. So I mean, one of the thing is that I mean you have to have all this information because let's say something happened with some of the lights or maybe a cable or a hose. The first thing they're gonna ask you when you go to auto parts store is what year, make, and model is your car, or all these little details of your car, or maybe the VIN number, or details a lot of people don't even know. Don't even know. Because it's funny, I have clients in my shop, and sometimes they call, hey, you know what? Can you give me an estimate on how to do the brakes on my car? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Give me the year, make, and model of your car. And people answer like this. I have a black Honda or
Oh.
a blue Toyota. You
That
know,
used to be me, Miss Cindy. That used to be me.
people answer like that. I mean, it's fine, but you really need to know your own car, just at least the basic stuff. And I always said, have always your emergency kit. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be
Mm-hmm.
traveling. You have to prepare yourself to have your emergency kit. I mean, all the tools that you're going to need in case of something happens. I mean, don't wait until something happens until you have that emergency kit. A lot of us, we take for granted. It's like, my car, it's okay. I'm not going to need it. But when the problem comes, we don't
Mm-hmm.
have the tools. So there's different tools that we need to have in our car. But I mean, the basic stuff is like the jumper cables. That's one of the things that we need to have in our car, our tire gauge. because you need to have the PSI.
Okay. I don't have a tire gauge. Okay. Okay.
You need to have a tire gauge because you need to know every tire, like for example, front tires, back tires, and spare tire have different pressure. So you need to know that the tires are on the right pressure and you need a tire gauge to see if they are at the right level.
I
Okay.
have a dually, Miss Cindy. I have a dually. So I have
Okay.
4 tires back there.
Okay.
Um, how am I gonna? That's another question for another, because I'm thinking like,
No
if
worries.
it's,
No worries.
yeah, I'm so nervous right now. I have
No,
so many more tires now to worry about.
yeah, I know it's different, but you know, usually each part of the car, depending on the weight on the car, the tires are different pressure.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
I mean, usually on the your owner manual, it will tell you in detail exactly what I mean, how much pressure, how much the PSI
Yeah.
your tire needs. And sometimes one of the things that I want to clarify, and for everyone that is here and out there, is that a lot of times the tires has a different numbers on the tires, and we don't even know what all these numbers are about. But and sometimes the PSI is right there. But let me tell you, don't ever go with that one. You have to go with the one that your owner manual says. And sometimes on the driver's side, on the bottom, it's a sticker. And that's, I'm not sure about the big band, but usually and the basic regular cars, there's this sticker on the driver's side that it says the right PSI that your tire needs. So
Oh.
always go with that sticker. Okay, because sometimes you can use from different sizes of tires. Sometimes there are 2 or 3 variations that you can use, and the PSI is different. So always go with that one. So the tire gauge is another thing that you need to have. I mean, you need to have, like, you know, the hammer. There's this hammer that it has like a multi-use tool in case that you are in an accident or a car accident. There's this like knife that you can cut the seat belt, or the
Ah.
hammer can help with to break the windows in case you're stuck. I mean, there's different things that it can be used for, but make sure that all those tools, you have them on your emergency kit. It's very important to have all of that. And you know, another thing that I think a lot of people miss on the emergency kits, it's a tracking, like a journal where you can track your mileage, how much
Hmm.
gas you're using now that you're gonna be driving a lot. You know, we have this emergency. There's a planner that we have, and this planner has different information. But you can use any notebook that you have. But usually we track all the mileage, the gas, all the repairs that you're doing in your car. Is very important to keep the
Okay.
receipts in there. Don't leave it in your house. Don't leave it out there, because you never know when you're gonna use the guarantees on whatever job they did in your car. And
Ah.
yes, that's very important, because if you don't keep that receipt and you go back and say, you know what, like for example, the experience that you just told me about, that you went for an oil change and there was something wrong. Usually when you take your car for any repair shop, they usually check, most of the repair shop check your whole car, and on the invoice they give you this detailed report about, okay, you know what, your car have this and that. If you want to do it now, or you can do it later. And when you keep that receipt and there's something wrong about the job that you just did, you can go back. And me, let's say I'm a repair owner, I mean I'm an owner, I have to see that receipt, because I can go to the auto parts, and all the parts, so all the things that I put in your car, it has warranty. But they don't validate the guarantee if I don't show the customer receipt invoice. So that's very important to keep those invoices handy in your glove box compartment. Okay. So, I mean, all those details, I mean, I don't want to overwhelm you with so
Well,
many stuff, but I mean,
I'm
these are
taking it in. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Let's go. Let's go, Miss Cindy.
yeah, you know what, all these things are good to have in your cart. And you know, let's say Jada came, I mean, she's more famous in 6 months, and now she decide to sell her bed. Guess what's going to happen? If you're tracking the maintenance in a book like this one, your car is going to have more value for the
Oh.
buyer that you're going to sell it. Why? Because you're keeping your maintenance writing down. If you come and you said to the new seller, you know, I've been doing everything to my car. Okay, show me proof. But if you're tracking every single repair, every single maintenance, everything that you're doing in your van, and you say, you know, here it is. Here are the invoices. Here are the track. Here are the dates. Here are the shops. The name of the shops where I did all the repairs. Here is. So your car is going to gain value instead of a car that they don't show something that they've been doing the maintenance. So that's very important. A lot of people don't realize that, but that's huge when it comes to buy a used car. I mean, we always want to know, okay, what is the history of the car? What's you been doing to the car? So make sure that you keep on track all of that, because I'm very sure that very soon you're gonna sell that van. You're not gonna stick with that van for so long, Jada. I know it.
And these vans are going for so much, Miss Cindy. Like the inflation of all of this, because COVID and so many people are now going into this nomadic lifestyle. Like these vans are, it's a young man I met on Clubhouse, 20-year-old guy. He builds these vans. He just flipped his van for I'm lying. It was 85,000 he just flipped his van for. Like legitimately. And then bought another cheaper van and he's just going to fix that up and just keep going. Thank you, Miss Cindy.
It's a good business.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a good business. I mean, if you buy a van and then you do some repairs or you add some stuff to the van, you can sell it for higher price. And if you, because there's some things, sometimes it's the cosmetic stuff, you're gonna add this to the van and you're gonna add, I don't know, different stuff inside the van. But another thing is the mechanical part. A lot of people doesn't care about the outside, but the mechanical stuff have to be neat, because that's what the thing is gonna take you different places, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what you need to have tracked down, everything detailed in one place. It can be, like I said, a notebook, can be a planner just for that, or anything that you have in your glove box, keeping with any invoice that you have for your van. So I hope that was not overwhelming.
No, ma'am, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You know, when I met you and I saw you were doing, I'm like, oh man, that's so good. I really wish, I mean, to do that. Well, I have a newborn, maybe I can't do it, but you know, that's gonna be super awesome. It's gonna be a whole new adventure for you. I love it.
Oh, and Miss Cindy, don't sleep on, because there's people in the club, and when the baby gets older, get you a school bus, get you a schoolie, and you and the family just go in there, just go there, hit the road for real, Miss Cindy.
You know, yeah, that's one of the things, because I have 4 kids. I have 4 kids. I have 4 kids, but the youngest one is right now, it's 4 months old already. But you know, my kids love nature. I mean, we just want to they love hiking, they love just being out there. We live 5 minutes around Disneyland. They like to go Disneyland.
What?
I mean, these kids are crazy. If you ask them, okay, it's the weekend, you want to go to Disneyland, or you want to go to the mountain, you want to go to Airsoft, you want to do hiking, they're like, oh no, Airsoft is more, oh, let's go hiking, let's go to the river, let's go to the lake. They don't like those stuff. I mean, right now with all the pandemic stuff, obviously we cannot go to those parks right now, but they're okay with it, because they prefer, oh, you know what, let's go to the mountain, there's no people there, let's just walk, let's just do with the nature. And I know my kids are crazy, but
no, they good. It's healing in nature. It's grounding in nature.
Exactly.
I'm talking to the people that comes to the Van Lifers Unite. That's my club on Clubhouse, Van Lifers Unite. And we do a mental health room on Mondays. And we have a lot of people that are saying, like, when they were working, they had so much anxiety and so much on so many different pills and trying to calm themselves. And then they just sold everything and just let everything go and just went out and then just started just getting into nature. And they said they don't even take the pills anymore. Like the anxiety has decreased. Like it slows them down. So I get it's healing in nature. It's love in nature. So I'm happy with the babies. I'm happy the babies outside. Like they prefer to be outside than playing. I'm happy, Miss Cindy. You got good kids, Miss Cindy. You got good kids, Miss Cindy.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, that's right. Sometimes I hear a book. I was reading a book, and there was this guy. He was like almost 50 years old guy, and he was so stressed because of his job, and so he quits his job. And he was so devastating because he thought that he was going to do a business out of his life and do a lot of things, but he was feeling old. And he was like, okay, my life already went. I'm not able to do something else. But he says that he will start taking these walks into the woods every single day for an hour or 2 hours. For after 90 days of he doing that, he came up with this great idea of business idea. Now he's a millionaire. But
Hey.
what I'm saying is the main thing is on those 90 days when he was walking into the woods and just be around nature and just like heal yourself, like you were saying, and just take off the stress, take up all those thoughts, and just start healing inside. It's
Mhm.
a huge thing. I mean, though that can be really powerful for someone that is feeling right now stressed. Just go walk, just be around nature. I mean, that is something very powerful. So I'm,
Mhm.
I'm, I'm glad that you mentioned that. But
Mhm.
well, before we end this episode, let me ask you something. What will be something empowered that you will tell a woman that is hearing right now? I mean, anything that it's in your heart, something that you say, you know what, I want to give this advice, because we have a lot of women that are listening right now, and a lot of them, they are in different situations. Either, I mean, it can be with cars, it can be in life. But I just want to ask you, I mean, what would you advise for them? Something that it comes out of your heart right now.
Mhm. And speaking of women, happy International Women's Day too, Miss Cindy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you.
You making history on happy, yes, Miss
Of
Cindy,
course.
yes. So for all the queens out there, I would say it's never going to be perfect and it's never going to be 100%, but still go with the flow and try and do it. And it's okay if you going at it alone. It's okay. It's okay if you and trust in your partner. If you have a partner, trust and lean, and it's okay to be vulnerable in that. Just trust in yourself and know that that peace, everything you need, will come to pass. And even in all fears and whatever we're scared of, that inner peace, getting one with self, everything God will make a way and everything will work out. And once we start stepping into that, into women, into that empowerment, then we're good. We're good, Miss Cindy.
Yeah, I love
Mhm.
it. That's so true. I think a lot of times we are just too focused on what is going to come next. And we are just so afraid of what is the next step that we're going to do or what is ahead of us that we forget to live in now. We forget to live in the moment or just enjoy the moment that you have. I see my kids. I have, like I said, I have 4 kids, and I have different ages from 4 months, 3 years, 10, 13. So there's different ages. But one of the things that I have learned with them is like, I just have to enjoy
Mhm.
today, because today is not going to come back. And I cannot keep thinking of what I did wrong yesterday. And I don't want to keep thinking what's going to happen tomorrow, but just today. And
Mhm.
that's very important, because sometimes we just forget all of that and we miss the present. And let's just forget it. I'm gonna take your word right now that said, let's forget about those fears, those things, because you're powerful.
Mhm.
As women, we're powerful. We have something inside that I mean, I sometimes I'm so, I mean, excited to see all the things that we are capable of accomplish. We are just
Yes.
these human beings that we're capable of doing so many things. And sometimes even my husband is like, how you did all this stuff in one day? And I'm like, women are powerful. We
Miss
have.
Cindy, you bring forth life. You bring forth 4 babies, 4 humans.
Yeah.
And honor in that, Miss Cindy. And you glowing. You're gorgeous, Miss Cindy. And all it. And thank you for all that you bring and all that you do. Because being a mom alone, yes, you could do all that in that day. You are a Wonder Woman. You are a Superwoman. You are a mom. You are a queen. We are.
Yes,
So,
we are.
Miss Cindy, thank you, boo. I'm sorry I just went all the way in.
Oh,
Like,
it's okay. No worries. No worries. That's what I love about the podcast, because my main idea of bringing this episodes to life is just to have these conversations. Obviously, we're going to talk about cars, but at the same time, I love to talk about life. Because
Mhm.
everyone that is hearing right now, they're not just focused on their car. Obviously, they're going to learn tips and tricks here about their own cars. But at the same time, I really want to empower them in their own life. Everyone
Mhm.
has a different journey. Everyone is living in different stages. And maybe something that I'm going to say, or maybe something that you're going to say, is going to make their day. It's going to make
Mhm.
a big difference in their life. So don't worry if you went all over the place. I think this was a purpose. This episode has a purpose for someone that needed to hear it. So don't worry about that. But it was I'm so excited. I mean, for your journey. Thank you. Thank you one more time to make the time to be with us today. And I just want to say, go for it. You are an inspiration. You are like the person that I met that you don't have any fears. You're like, I'm gonna leave everything on behind and I'm gonna go into the new journey. And I bless you, and I hope that everything you're gonna do is gonna be successful. And I know we're going to have another episode after a few months that you're being on the road, and you're gonna come here and share with us all these amazing experiences you're gonna have.
If you allow me back, Miss Cindy, because you number one. You number one on iTunes, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, on Tidal, all that. You're number one. So if you're not too booked and busy, Miss Cindy, in those couple of months, and you could just, please, I would just be honored to come back. Thank you, Miss Cindy.
Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Please check the next episode, because the next episode is going to be wonderful with another powerful woman just like Jada. So I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ladies Car Care Talk Show. For more resources from Cindy, or to join the Ladies Car Care Facebook community, you can follow the links in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening and share with your friends.